Okay, what's going on? LBHT Crew B, what is going on?
It's the beginning of the Panthers win streak. A couple days away. Very excited.
There you
Very
go.
happy.
Yes. We believe there are some good things to come for the Panthers ahead, especially, you got the trade deadline coming up, and David Tepper has all but promised some big moves by trade deadline. So we're going to discuss that. Will there be some moves in the future for the Ravens as well? We will discuss that as well. Okay. Hey, Malik B is here. He's ready to go. He's got the Ravens emojis in there. Salute, Malik. Salute. Rico in the house. What's good, Rico? Yes. We got our guy Hendo from the Roll Pod, says LBHT Crew. Let's get it. What's up? What's going on, Hendo? Living big with Big Reg is in the house. Says, what's good, my peoples? What's good with you? Our guy, Living Legend. Salute, Living Legend. Hey, Living Legend's got he's got an album out. Okay, that's the artwork right there in his avatar. Living Legend, post a link where people can find your work. All right, we gotta support each other. Post your link in there. Post your link. Support Living Legend. We bought the album. It's dope.
Yes,
it's dope. Yeah. All right, Mr. J's in the house says, Mr. IT in the what?
You spelled sire wrong, Jay. SIRE.
Oh, okay. SIT in the sire. That's all right. We got you. Salute, Mr. J. Thanks for coming through. Danity in the house. Salute to Danity. Says, welcome to the stream, kings and queens. Hit the like button and subscribe as you tap in. Yes, all important things. Hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button. Thank you, Danity, so much for supporting the show. What else you got here? He says, look at the enthusiasm and positivity. That's right. Jeremy's in the house. What's going on, Jeremy? Thanks for coming through. Ryan C in the house says, good evening, LBHT Crew. Good morning or good evening, Ryan C. The Juan 100 says, what up, fam? What's up with you? Yolanda B, good evening, LBHT family. Good evening, Yolanda. Thanks for coming through. Daniel Franklin in the house. What up? Hey, all right. Listen, it is Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Hope your week is going well, but if not, hopefully it gets better starting right now. We are streaming live on YouTube and Twitter. No Facebook right now. Facebook's got some issues with their streaming. So
what's up, Dre?
It is what it is. What's up, Dre? Salute, Dre. Says, what's up, everyone? Hope all is well. Hey, thanks for coming through, Mr. Galloway. Make sure you subscribe there as well. Some dope content. I think he just put out a video. Was it today? I thought I saw something pop up on my.
I know they did the show last night. I don't know if you put out anything else today.
All right, I gotta make sure to check that out. Zoom Jones in the house. What's going on, Zoom Jones? He says, "What's up, LBHT?" Jeremy, we are never going back to Twitch.
Okay. Well, no, they're allowing multi-stream again.
Oh, they got rid of that ridiculous rule?
Yeah, they announced it at their convention like it was some big deal. Like, oh man, check out this great idea we had. And definitely not us walking back something that you all hated.
They try to pull look, it's either YouTube or us, and a lot of people were like YouTube.
Everyone's like, well, YouTube, Facebook, Kick, TikTok, all of them.
We're like yeah, everybody else. They're like, oh, well, surprise.
You guys are never gonna believe what we cooked up in the lab. Multi-stream.
All right, so okay. When I said never, that was a little harsh. We will be back on Twitch then. Okay? For the two people that watch over at Twitch. Yeah, we love Twitch. We love y'all. We may not go back, to be honest. You guys don't like Twitch either. All right. But we try to be available everywhere, so we might be out there. We're also available wherever you listen to podcasts. How many of you guys listen to podcasts? How many of you guys are audio listeners? All right. I know we have some out there. Okay. We see the stats. We have some out there. We appreciate you guys. If you're listening to this, this is Thursday on your lunch break. Hope you're enjoying your lunch. But how many of you guys that watch are audio listeners? If you are, or if you know people that listen to podcasts, suggest our show. Say, hey, check out Lunch Break Hot Take. Good listen while you're on your lunch break or while you're at work. Okay. Because we'll get you in that lunch break mindset. Okay. Take your mind off of work. Okay. So suggest our show. And thank you to everybody that listens. Make sure you give this a 5-star review. Oh, Living Legend says he's a podcast holic. Yeah, me too. That's how the concept of the show came up, because the job I worked at before, you couldn't really watch videos or anything within your phone. So I just listened to a lot of podcasts. So I needed something to get through the day.
Wow. Jay says Twitch never stopped him from streaming on both YouTube and Twitch. That's because you big time, Jay.
Yeah, they're like, oh no, that's Jay. That's an exception to the rule. I'm pretty sure there is a Mr. J the Sixth exception rule written somewhere. So yeah, you guys don't care about Twitch.
Man.
Yeah, if you're gonna be on Twitch, go to Mr. J's channel. He's got the he's got the content that you want over there. All right. Bazel says podcast is all right, but these lives is fire. Yeah,
okay, that. Brandon, pretty sure our podcast is fire too, but whatever.
Yeah. Coach, what's going on? Coach says hello, good people. Make sure everybody in here is subscribed to Coach. I know you are. Okay, but just double check, because I knew everybody in here was subscribed to us until Clock just surprised us one day and decided to subscribe.
8 months later. That's why he always announced Clock's in the building, because he don't stay over here up until recently.
All right, man. Salute to you guys. All right. We're starting to fill up in here. Listen, you guys know how we like to start every show with a Black History fact. First, I want to give a shout out to my friend Shang. He's at work right now. Okay, he's putting in some extra work, covering for somebody that had to call out, and then he stepped up and said, "Hey, I got you." Shang is always the first one at work. Okay, he shouldn't be the last one to leave, but he is tonight, man. And I appreciate you, because he's the reason why I'm able to be here right now doing the show, because otherwise I would have had to cover. So Shang, salute to you, man. I appreciate you.
Yes,
all right.
Thank you.
All right. You guys know we like to start every show with a Black History fact. We got a special Black History fact for you.
Special, it's not special.
Don't
raise expectations. That makes things worse.
Special, I didn't say bigger and better. I said special.
Okay.
Special is just different.
Okay, well, I guess that's true. So congratulations on winning that little argument. Anyway, whatever. So yeah, this time we're going to try something a little different with the Black History fact. And in fact, it's not going to necessarily be a fact, as Jose was very fond of pointing out to me earlier this week. Is more of a folktale, a Black American folktale, because I don't think those get a lot of attention, right? If you ask just random people, hey, what's a Black folktale? A lot of people wouldn't be able to tell you, right? It's just not something that we really kind of learn, I guess you could say. But that's what this one's going to be, and since Halloween's coming up, I figure make it go with one of the maybe a little ghost story or something like that. But like I said, we're gonna do it a little bit different. I hope y'all enjoy it.
Welcome to LBHT's Black History Fact. With Halloween fast approaching, this week we offer a bit of advice. Beware of Big Liz. On a plantation in Maryland, there lived a man who was a proud supplier of the Southern Army. However, recently the Union began intercepting his deliveries, and the owner realized there was a spy in his midst. Big Liz, a slave woman of prodigious strength, known for her ability to carry 2 fully grown pigs at once, was selling secrets to the North. He devised a plan to rid himself of the traitor. He had Liz carry a chest of Confederate treasure into a nearby swamp and dig a deep hole to bury it where the Union would never find it. The owner watched and waited for Big Liz to become exhausted, reaching up with a huge, mud-covered hand for help in climbing from the hole she had dug. It was then he drew his sword and screamed, "Traitor!" as he sliced through the woman's neck, removing her head in one swing. He hurried to bury the dead woman's body, feeling relief and a sick satisfaction for a job well done. But the feeling was fleeting. A chill ran down his spine, and he broke out in a cold sweat as the eerie stillness of the swamp closed in on his senses. Alone, in the dark, he made the journey home with an unconscious rapidity to his gate. Later that night, he awoke to the sound of a heavy knock at the door. He didn't move. Sure, it was his imagination, but it came again. He opened the door slowly. The lanterns on the porch had been extinguished, and it was pitch black, but he saw no one. He stepped out onto the porch, peering left and right. He was alone, of course, except... He squatted down and ran one trembling hand over the cold, damp wood and felt mud, with grubs and beetles fleeing from his touch. He recoiled in kind and sprang to his feet, retreating back into the house. But not fast enough. Out of the darkness, a freezing, monstrous hand clamped around his neck and squeezed. He struggled uselessly as his captor came into view, Liz's body, caked in dirt and blood. A gaping hole where her head had been a few hours ago, now spilled grave worms and gore with every movement. He felt sleep taking over, and his eyes fell to the monster's hip, where Liz's head hung, eyes alive and bright with blue flame. He stopped struggling then. His eyes closed. It's said that Big Liz can be seen wandering near the swamps of Dorchester, beckoning folks to follow her to the buried treasure. But those that follow never return.
The ending kind of crept up on me there also.
All right, there's your Black History fact. Yes, and I did ask B, is this supposed to be a Black History fact or is it like a folk? So no, I asked because I was like, well, maybe this is based off like a true story or something like that, right? Mm-hmm. But it is it's a folk tale that's been told, for ages. So there you go.
And I think the one thing that we can take away from this is a lot of y'all need to go and listen to Morgan Freeman some more, because
that was not Morgan Freeman.
That was nothing like Morgan Freeman.
But that gives you some ideas. Maybe we'll start calling him Young Morgan.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dandy. Dandy says, great job. I appreciate that. Chris came in, was just like, well, what's going on? I saw your message, Chris. He came in and he's just like, hold up, what I miss? What is going on? That was the Black History fact, Chris. Okay, we told a little a ghost story there. All right. Yes, Eva Lamar is feeling it. That's what I'm talking about. Yes. Ryan C says, I believe the Ravens are the best team in the AFC, or is it still the Chiefs? Okay, look, we're gonna discuss that. All right. Tough Puppy, what's going on? Thanks for coming through.
Tough.
Clock says, great story, but big cap. Well, it's a story.
Clock got us on that one. There ain't no headless people running around.
It's a story. It wasn't a fact. It was a story. It's a folk tale. It's an old folk tale. Brodny Scorsese, yes. What's going on, Mikey? Omar Tillman in the house. What's going on? Thanks for coming through. All right, we got Marcus in the house. Henry to the Ravens might happen soon. Oh, we're going to discuss. Daniel Franklin says, sounded like Morgan Freeman with laryngitis. Okay.
Man, y'all kill my man. That was Okole.
Yes, Okole. All right. Maybe he'll change his name to Morgan. We'll talk to him. We'll talk to him about that. Yes, Liz was rocking that fro. Yes. We got a story about Liz. We'll talk about that in the overtime show as well. Liz wasn't being cooperative.
No.
I saw your call, Mikey, but I'm sorry.
It's true, Mike. It's true.
I'm sorry. I saw it. I meant to call you right back, but I got busy and had to get ready for the show. Listen, you have a link. Okay, you have a link. All right, you can hop in anytime. Sorry, my Apple it doesn't want to accept links. Okay. Where do we want to start?
That important,
We have a lot to discuss here. Okay, we got some games coming up. We got trade deadline coming up. We got NBA returning. Where are we starting, B?
Goddamn, Jeremy.
Is that Lizzo's ancestors? No, Jeremy. No.
We're gonna start with
the
Texans.
Panthers and Texans. Okay. All right. Now, B, you've had a little string of bad luck. Okay, 6 losses in a row.
I haven't. Things are going really well for me.
Yeah. Your team. Okay, but still a lot of football left to play. Mm-hmm. Your rookie quarterback is playing better and better every week. The team, they had a couple of bright spots. They honestly had about 2, maybe 3 games that they could have won. They could easily be 3-3 right now, right? Yeah. But it is what it is. But you had a bye. Okay, you're coming up on a trade deadline where your front office is working hard to make some moves, and you come up against a Texans team that, while they also have a good young quarterback, they're not the best team either. Mm-hmm. So here's an opportunity for you guys to come out the bye and get your first win and start getting on the right track towards winning. How do you feel about that?
I already told you, it's the first of 3 straight wins for Carolina. Like I said, Bryce Young's been playing better every week. They're starting to get healthy. Austin Corbett is going to be, if he hasn't been already, he's going to be activated from IR. Now, I don't think he's going to play. I mean, that opens his 21-day window. But what's his name? Xavier Woods is back at practice. Miles Sanders is back at practice. The defense had been hit particularly hard by injury, so it's nice to get Xavier back. Miles, I think, was a bit of the victim of the early season O-line woes. Look, he's been outplayed by Chuba Hubbard, but I think he's much better than what he showed early on in the season. So him coming back healthy, and as the offense is kind of trying to get into the swing of things, I think that'll be good for him. Obviously, the offense is going to be called, or the plays are going to be called by Thomas Brown moving forward. Since Frank Reich finally gave up those play calling duties. So hopefully that helps as well. They just need to get more out of the skill positions than they have been up to this point. And I'm looking at you, DJ Chark and Terrace Marshall and Jonathan Mingo and Hayden Hurst. But I'm also looking at T. Higgins, right? But yeah, so we'll see if the Panthers make a move. It's not looking like they're going to make a move before this Sunday. But hopefully before the trade deadline. I would have thought that they would have, tried to get something done during their bye so they could have a little extra time to get the, whoever they bring in acclimated. But obviously that didn't happen. But yeah, they're going up against Houston. They are a talented team, a very solid team. I think they're well coached. I think CJ Stroud has been amazing. They have a better O-line. They have better wide receivers. They've got a better defense. But, they are a very, very young team. And so, they're kind of up and down. And I think that with the extra week to prepare, Carolina should be able to go in there and get the win.
Is it in Houston?
That I'm looking up right now. I'm not 100% sure. When I said in there, I just meant into the stadium because nowhere is really a home field advantage for Carolina right now. You don't really get that when you're 0-6.
Yeah. So Shaheen, what's going on? I've got shout out Shaheen because he's on the other side of the world, and what time is it over there?
It is in Carolina.
Oh, it's in Carolina. What time is it over there, Shaheen? He says, I want to know how Brodny feels for taking Young over Stroud. I think we both like Young. I don't think Stroud is playing better right now, but I don't
Yeah, and it's way too early to judge that what these guys are going to be. But I've been very encouraged by what I've seen from Bryce Young. I think he's got it. He's the player that we thought he was going to be. It's just the supporting cast isn't very good in Carolina right now. I mean, what would your opinion have been, if you asked this question 6 games into Baker Mayfield or Josh Allen? And what do you think now? Right? It matters where you end up. It matters how that team kind of develops that player and how they support the player with the coaching as well as acquisitions on offense, right? And I think Carolina, with the coaching staff they put together, is set up to kind of bring Bryce along and make sure he reaches his full potential.
Yeah. Okay, so he says it's 3:10 a.m. Jeez, man, salute to you, man. You are a true warrior. Okay, because 3:10 a.m. my brain wouldn't function right. Okay, like type in 3:10 a.m. at 3:10 a.m. for me, I wouldn't even know what that would say. Okay, it wouldn't be legible. Yeah, it's two different situations, right? The Texans have a much better O-line. Mm-hmm. And honestly, like, we don't even need to look at anything else. You start with the O-line. If you can protect your quarterback, he can make things happen for you. I mean, the O-line can make a lot of things happen for your offense. And the Texans, they're in a better situation. So Stroud's going to perform better. But there's some things that I see from Bryce Young that, like we said, it makes me feel okay with that pick because his composure is fine. I think him making reads and everything. He's not gonna make every read the right way because he's a rookie. But accurate passer. I think he's fine. I think he's showing you everything that you need to see out of a rookie. It's not like when Zach Wilson came out and he looked like a complete mess.
Yeah,
right.
Nobody's Zach Wilson except maybe former Jet Christian Hackenberg.
Yeah. Right. Like he doesn't look like a disaster out there. It just looks like the team is struggling. Now, he may not have some superpower like Lamar Jackson has, right? Or he may not be as mobile as Anthony Richardson, but he definitely looks like he has the qualities to be a franchise quarterback. So, we'll see what they can do. I mean, we'll find out Sunday. We'll see, how they look in Sunday. If they pull out that win, that'd be a great morale booster right there. And if they, make the right trades during trade deadline, they can get pretty competitive moving forward. And Jeremy had a question about if they went 0-7. He was saying if they go 0-7, he didn't see any big name free agents going to Carolina. Are you talking about this offseason?
I'll tell you one thing, Jeremy. The difference in a big name free agent signing in Carolina is not 0-6 or 0-7 or 1-6. Right? They're not they're not going to be a destination right now at this point.
Also,
it's just not worked this year.
Also, I don't agree. If you pay them, they'll come.
Yeah, I mean, but when we say big name, I mean, I'm assuming you mean like the top free agents. The top free agents aren't going to go there because they'll get paid anywhere. Other guys, second tier, third tier guys will go if you pay them. But the top players are going to be able to get that money anywhere in the league, and they're not going to pick Carolina.
Okay, well, I push back a little bit, right? Because we're talking about wide receiver. Wide receivers. I mean, you saw how it was a little bit of a struggle this offseason for guys like D-Hop to get his money, or Mike Evans. I mean, he's not a free agent, but it might be one of those things where, okay, yeah, I want to play for a competitor, but they're not quite offering me what I want, right?
But to be fair, those guys are older. Odell coming off a couple of big injuries. Like if we look at T. Higgins, let's just say, somehow he hits free agency.
Yeah, T.
Higgins is going to get a huge contract anywhere he wants in the league. DeAndre Hopkins, he there's a lot of guys who thought he was kind of past it, and obviously, people thought that about Odell, having come off major, an ACL tear, and just hadn't been healthy for several years and hadn't been the dominant player he once was since like his third season in the league, right? So there was a lot of doubt with those guys. But when you say when Jeremy says big name free agents, I'm thinking like elite top free agents. Those guys aren't going to go to Carolina, which is fine.
Yeah. That's fine. You can deal with that. But just looking at this game on Sunday, Clock wants to know what time the game is because he hates Charlotte's traffic. I don't know. I'm guessing it's a 1 o'clock game. Look, Houston. Yeah, Houston's tough. They got a young team. Their defense, they're a competitive team. the Ravens played them in week 1. That's a tough defense. I think they're being coached well. But I also think Carolina has a good coaching staff as well. I think the thing that really caught by surprise that kind of derailed them is that offensive line.
Yeah.
If you can get some solid O-line play, that will change everything around for you guys. But that O-line, sheesh, man. O-line and injuries, I would say, it has plagued you guys.
Yeah, and like I said, hopefully they're starting to turn that around now, and with an extra week to prepare, I think they should be able to take down Houston.
All right. So, speaking of trade deadline, trade deadline's coming up on Halloween.
Yes,
on Halloween. Wow. Okay, what are you guys gonna get? Okay, we gotta discuss. What's your team gonna get? What's our team gonna get? You guys have been talking that you're making some aggressive moves. Josina Anderson said that that the Panthers have been speaking internally about some options. One option wouldn't be agreeable, and but they've been talking. And okay, what's the move here, B?
If I had to guess, I would say that it's going to end up being Jerry Jeudy. I think that Denver's wanted to get rid of him.
That's probably the one that's not agreeable.
Yeah. I think Denver has wanted to get rid of him for a while now, and I think he's probably the most attainable. I would prefer that it be T. Higgins. That's kind of my, that's my number one guy. But Cincinnati has to be interested in moving him, and then you have to pay a high price and give him a huge contract. And I don't think that Carolina's probably interested in doing that right now, since they already have one player who needs a huge contract, who they are not getting it done with. The talk now is that they're telling teams that Brian Burns is not available, but why would you be telling teams he's not available if you're not giving him his money? Doesn't make any sense. It's just a continuation of Carolina being a poorly run franchise, which has been from the start, and it's really depressing because it's a new owner now. So why is it still like this? But I think that they're going to get rid of Terrace Marshall. I think they might find somebody for Jeremy Chin, although he's hurt now, so that complicates things. But I think in terms of the offense, my guess is that it's going to be Jerry Jeudy if they get anything done.
All right. We got 75 people in here. Hit that like button. If you're new, hit the subscribe button. Jerry Jeudy isn't enough for me. If I'm a Panthers fan, I need to see. It's not bad, because Jerry Jeudy's not bad, despite what Steve Smith was saying about him. He's not bad. I think Jerry Jeudy could be very good. Mm-hmm. He's just in a bad situation. He's in a very bad situation. I think a change of scenery, you will get a good young talented wide receiver, but get more, right? Yeah. Like I don't when you are struggling and you need some sure things, go and get sure, like sure proven players that you don't have to say, I think he can do this.
Yeah, but you remember they don't have a first round pick this year. They don't have a second round pick the following year. So they're a bit limited in what they can do in terms of a trade. Jeremy saying that that T. Higgins isn't going to leave the Bengals if they keep winning. I promise you he will leave the Bengals if they are not giving him the annual average that he's looking for. It's got nothing to do with winning. They paid Joe Burrow. They're going to pay Jamar Chase. They're probably not going to pay T. Higgins.
Yeah,
and he will leave.
That's why I feel like, man, like the Panthers in the offseason aren't going to have a problem signing players if they're aggressive enough. You can make turn any bad team around. You can make them win, right? So it doesn't matter what the record is this year. If they're out there making the right moves, they can be competitive. I mean, very competitive. Like, win the division like I thought they're going to do this year. They can easily do that next year, making the right moves, even without.
Yeah, no, but I'm just saying, like I said, specifically if we're talking about T. Higgins as an example. If Carolina offers you, let's say, because he's going to want around $30 million a year. Let's say Carolina offers you $30 million a year, and then also Baltimore offers you $30 million a year, and also Kansas City offers you $30 million a year, and also San Francisco, or whoever else, you're not going to pick Carolina. They're going to be far down on people's lists. Now, yeah, they can do the Washington thing, which is overpay for free agents and they'll come. But that doesn't typically work with the top guys, just because they'll get paid anywhere. But we'll see. I think, like I said, I think they'll end up with Jerry Jeudy, and I think that they'll kind of sit with that for the rest of the season and see how he does, how Jonathan Mingo progresses, how Bryce Young looks for the rest of the year, and then they'll decide their offseason accordingly.
Yeah. Okay. I've seen some other options out there. Jeremy says Devontae Adams would have been better. Devontae Adams would cost you more. He's older.
Well, the Raiders said they're not trading him. So we'll take him at their word for the moment and just take him off of that list. But yeah, I don't really want an older receiver. I want somebody who's going to be there with Bryce for a long time.
Yeah, Jay Judy's not a bad option. Zeta B says, "Man, Ravens pay $30 million for T. Higgins. I'll cry. Why?" So the last time we talked about paying the wide receiver $30 million, we were talking about Tyreek Hill, who we'll discuss also later on in the show.
And tears of joy.
Oh, tears of joy. Oh, my bad.
I think.
My bad. Yeah,
I don't know.
You gotta pay for talent, right? Yeah. Nobody wanted to when happy tears. Yeah, that's my bad. My bad, Z. He said happy tears. I might be right there with you, Z. But I that $30 million tag, that's what Tyreek Hill got, and people are like, man, that's too much. You can't justify that for wide receiver. He's not worth it. That man could be MVP this year.
Mm-hmm.
Right? He will be in MVP talks. I think he will get that 2,000 yards receiving. All right, and we're going to discuss more about that probably in the next segment. But he's worth every penny. Don't worry about the money, especially because it's not ours. Right? Go and get the talent. I would love for us to get T. Higgins. I don't think the Ravens are going to get T. Higgins. They should, but I think they'll write it out with who they have here. Especially, I know the trade deadline is next week. I just don't see them making a move. But I think we're going.
I don't think Cincinnati would trade T. Higgins to Baltimore anyway, regardless.
No, I don't think so.
So you had your
chance. Now, what moves could they make? Running back makes the most sense, B. Or corner. But what corner can we get at this point? I saw Patrick Surtain in the chat. That's the one player that they're not going to give up.
Yeah.
Right. Because on the defensive side, the Broncos have some good young players there. They can continue to add on that side. The offense is where they're having their fire sale. I think running back is the easiest move we can make. Mm-hmm. We can still keep a good amount of draft capital. And look, man, you guys know how I feel. Saquon Barkley, Derrick Henry, Josh Jacobs, those are the guys I feel are available. No matter what anybody says, I don't care. Anybody, I haven't heard anybody say, "Hey, those guys aren't available." All of them, well, not Derrick Henry. The other two are on 1-year deals. Okay.
Saquon. No, I think they're on 2-year deal. I mean, 1.5 at this point, but yeah.
Right. So yeah, I think that's the way to go for the Ravens. Get a playmaker at running back. I don't really think we'll try to go after a wide receiver. So that has to be a move. Rahib Bali says the Ravens good at corner. I think they're good at secondary. I think they're good on defense. Yes, I mean they could use another edge rusher, but they don't need that. They need some talent on the offense. So I'm not worried about edge. I'm not worried about corner. I'm not worried about anything on that defensive side. Okay, we need guys that can complete 80-yard catches to take it to the house. That's what we need. Daniel says cornerback isn't a need for Baltimore. Nope, running back would change the game for us. I never thought I would say that.
I wouldn't be so quick to say corner isn't a need. I mean, they are still lacking in talent there. I think that they're playing great team defense, but there is going to come a time where you're playing just receivers who those guys just can't cover, and you don't want that time to be in the playoffs and that to get you up out of there.
Yeah. What's going on, Rock? Thanks for coming through.
What's up,
Says
Rock?
Ravens need to fortify that line of scrimmage. That's the hardest thing to get. You almost never see trades happen for a good old lineman.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say it's impossible, but teams don't give up good old linemen generally. It's very difficult to find, and that's the thing that you have to do during the offseason.
Just Aloe, I am not mad. He says you're still mad, Gus, for that touchdown, for not scoring that touchdown. I'm not mad. It was funny, right? It was a jovial time. I'm poking fun. I'm not mad, but it does point out. The fact that it kind of drives home that the fact that we don't have a playmaker, right? Like, we can laugh at it right now because we were up big. What if, like, the game's on the line and we need to score, and he had all that room to run and he just couldn't do it? You know what I'm saying? Then it's not funny anymore. And yes, Danny, I appreciate that. Support the show. This is a good time to put pause for a minute and put that out there. $ LBHTShow, like Danny says right there. And what you see in right below B, that's our Cash app. Okay. Also, that pin link that you see in the chat box, those are the ways you can do super chats over here. I know some of you guys are looking for super chat. Those are our super chat. Okay. You click that link, or you hit up the Cash app. Both ways, you leave your donation, leave your comment. You'll get a nice little animation right here from Microphone Man. All right. But it does drive home the fact that we don't have anybody that can really make plays like that. You have all that room to run, and you're running your hardest. And it was a good heads up play. I don't take anything away from them, but you don't have that extra boost, right? I saw Christian McCaffrey take a catch that had some defenders in front of him, and he was just too fast for any of them to lay a finger on him on his way to the end zone. I want a guy like that, right? If we're going to be, if our identity is going to be running, get a playmaker at running back. You know, Gus and Justice is not enough for me. That one play from Mitchell, not enough for me.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, I want somebody that I know can play. I understand the injury concerns with Saquon Barkley. I get it. But what about when he's on the field? Are there any concerns then? Because all these running backs that we're talking about now, I have concerns about. Okay. And I'm more worried about your inability on the field than your injury history. Okay. Yes, injuries are part of the game, and it sucks if you get hurt. But I don't like watching guys get the ball and thinking, man, he ain't gonna do nothing with it.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
Or, man, I hope he catches it.
And then those guys get hurt too.
Yes.
So,
Yeah. So,
but and I don't know, responded to Daniel up here saying that they play a lot of zone and zone makes talent less important. Disagree. You still need talent, but insofar as you want to equate the zone to talent, you play zone because you have less talent, right? And it's still going to hurt you. You don't play exclusively zone. No. You want better players back there. I mean, unless you enjoyed watching what Miami did to you last year in the second half. Right. If that was fun for you, you can stay right there at the same level of talent you have and just, cross your fingers, I guess. But I mean, I'm not saying that it's more important than these other positions. I'm just saying the talent level in the secondary, or at corner, not in the secondary, the talent level at corner is still an issue.
And that's the other thing too. And Killer Cam is 100% correct here. We still rely on Lamar too much on running. So it's not the zone blocking, right? That's not what's giving us success. It's our quarterback, right? We need a player that can actually take the pressure off of our quarterback, right? So he doesn't have to move with his legs. That's what we need. We need to get some other talent in here so he doesn't have to run the ball in order for us to pick up a first down. He's going to do it because he's an amazing talent, and he will do that on his own when he feels like he needs to make a play. But we shouldn't feel like we need to draw up plays in order to pick up a first down. That speaks to another issue with our coaching staff. But that also speaks to just the lack of faith that we have in everybody else. So, all right. So, B, Panthers need to focus on getting a wide receiver. I think Josina Anderson already said that that's what they're looking at. Ravens haven't. I haven't heard any talk about the Ravens being in any trade talks, but that has to be the focus if they're looking to make a trade.
Yeah, no, it absolutely does. Don't try to put that Miami loss on the offense. They scored more than enough points. Your defense went to sleep, particularly in the secondary. That's what happened to you. I'm just saying, you get some more talent there, then maybe that won't happen again. That's why, and the Ravens agree. That's why they went after Darius Slay in free agency, right? They know they don't have enough talent at corner. It's working right now, and that's cool. Hopefully it keeps on working. But I'm saying when you get into the playoffs and you start playing nothing but higher level offenses, it might come back to bite you. That's all.
Yeah.
But, if they get the offense together, like we've been saying for years, if you get talent on the offense and you're able to put up points, then it's less of an issue. Then you can outscore people. But,
So we had this discussion. We're kind of opposite sides of this, right? That talented corner versus running back. And I think Coach threw it out there with, if Saquon's available or Patrick Surtain, which one would you rather have? Right? You said Patrick Surtain, I said Saquon. And yes, Patrick Surtain is a better player overall. Right? That'll solidify that second corner position. But this is where my whole philosophy behind hashtag defund the defense comes from. We spent so much on the defense over these last 5 years. We have to start investing on the offensive side, even if it means sacrificing some talent on the defensive side. Right? Yes, I would love to. Yes, I would love to have Patrick Surtain. Yes, I would love to have Darius Slay. But if it means there's still less talent on offense, then no, at some point we have to put our foot down and say, look, man, we got to give Lamar something here. So yes, the better player might be Patrick Surtain, but that doesn't necessarily help Lamar. Start getting Lamar some help on that side of the ball, sacrifice on the defensive side, and give to the offensive side.
Yeah. Daniel, you scored 10 points in the second half. They scored 38 for the game. Your defense gave up 5 touchdowns in the second half. Tell me again whose fault that was.
I can't even begin to blame the offense in that game. We gave up 3 or 4 touchdowns in that fourth quarter. We gave up 3 touchdowns in 5 minutes. Yeah,
the Ravens scored 38 in that game, and they lost because the defense gave up 5 touchdowns in the second half.
Now,
come on, bro.
Listen, I got on our defensive coordinator McDonald for that game, but he has done a great job since then. So I'm willing to write that game off and say, look, what are you gonna do? Is Tyreek Hill? Honestly, you don't have to make excuses, right? Like Tyreek Hill is that guy. We're gonna talk about him right now. All right. You don't have to point fingers, right? All you have to say is, look, man, it was Tyreek Hill. All right, we did cover him. He got open. What do you want me to do? And that's pretty much all you have to say. All right. In fact, let's get right into it. Tyreek Hill, ladies and gentlemen. How do you guys feel about Tyreek Hill? Is he on his way to the Hall of Fame? Is he on that road to Hall of Fame? Is he an all-time great wide receiver? What do you think, B?
I think he is. I think that there's some people who don't look at him that way because he played in Kansas City and he was playing with Pat Mahomes and he was part of that offense. And you just kind of, people give credit to Andy Reid and Mahomes and that's what it is. And obviously, those people are going to look at last year without Tyreek and say, hey, the offense was still good. They still won the Super Bowl, blah, blah, blah. But Tyreek Hill there are very, very few players who will change the trajectory of your franchise, right? And most of them are quarterbacks. It's the most important position in the league. Now, nobody wins on their own, even at quarterback, right? But Miami went from just some guys to a Super Bowl contender because they traded for Tyreek Hill. There are other really, really, really good, great wide receivers even who are out there who don't have that kind of impact on their team. We were just talking about Davante Adams. Davante Adams is a great player. He's having almost no impact in Las Vegas. And like I said, it's not a one player thing. But I now, and this is just me personally. I don't look at Tua like he's a significant upgrade over Jimmy Garoppolo, right? Like he's fine, but I don't think he's any kind of great quarterback.
Well, we actually used to argue about that before they traded for Tyreek Hill. We argued how good Tua was, right? Because he looked average, right? Like he had some good games, he had some bad games, he wasn't consistent, right? They fired Brian Flores. I didn't like that. But when they brought in McDaniel and they traded for Tyreek Hill, all of a sudden he's an MVP candidate. He's probably leading the MVP race right now.
Mm-hmm.
That in large part because of Tyreek Hill, because he wasn't doing that with it was just Jalen Waddle, who was another excellent wide receiver.
Yeah. And like I said, DeAndre Hopkins is a great wide receiver. He changes teams and it doesn't change the trajectory of that franchise. And Tyreek Hill has. And I think that, he's not super high up on the all-time lists as of right now in terms of yards and touchdowns and things like that. But, he's kind of in the middle of his career. But just the impact that you get from him is unlike almost anyone else, right?
Yeah.
You saw Randy Moss come in and instantly was like the biggest threat in the league. And that's kind of what you see with Tyreek. He's just a guy that you can game plan for, you can give all the attention that you want to, and he's still going to beat you.
Yeah. And Clock says, yes, he beat us twice, both on one play with KC and Miami. And that's the crazy thing, right? Because they're going to go to him. He's going to go downfield. You commit a corner and a safety to cover him, and he still gets behind you. Right? Like he's not doing it off of some trick play. He's not doing it off of rub route. He's not doing it off of, I thought he was going this way, he went that way. Nah, he's just running. Right? You know where he's going. You got the angle, and he still gets past you. Whether he catches the ball in the air or he catches it short and then he just runs by you.
Yeah. Right?
He can kill you anyway, and there's nothing you can do about it. And that's why when he has those games, he just goes off. You're just like, well, what are you gonna do? Right? So that's how it was with Randy Moss. If Randy Moss wanted to have a Randy Moss game, there isn't a single player in the world that could stop him.
Mm-hmm.
And Tyreek Hill's in the zone right now. He decides he wants 2,000 yards. I fully believe he's going to get 1,000 yards this week.
Yeah, probably.
Right?
Maybe not. He's hurt. He hasn't practiced, so he may not play this week.
Oh, okay.
So
he's still going to get 2,000 yards. That means when he comes back, he's going to get about 250.
Yeah.
So yes, I think he's a Hall of Famer. I think he is an all-time great. He is a player that we'll never forget. And thank God Kansas City didn't want to pay him, because they offered him a contract. He said he wanted more. They're like, all right, you're being greedy. If they decided, okay, fine, whatever, just take it, right? Jesus. I mean, they're already. I say they be the best team in the league, but they're already up there. But,
Ali, I don't think the Mahomes is leading the MVP race. When you have a guy who's set to go over 1,000 yards halfway through the season. I mean, I agree with you in that I don't think they're going to give it to Tyreek Hill. I mean, even if he breaks the record, I don't think they're going to actually give him the MVP award. But I think he is the best player in the league this season so far.
You're right. I don't. When you break a record like that, that is very hard. I mean, he will definitely be. He will get votes for sure.
I'm sure, but Calvin Johnson broke the record and did not win MVP.
That's true. He should have.
But again, they were a bad team when he broke the record, but still.
Yeah. Tyreek Hill, he was drafted in what round?
I believe it was the 5th.
He was drafted by Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah. And that was to do with him being a dirtbag off the field.
Yes.
Is why a big part of why he went in the 5th.
Now, he worked out for that team, so he wouldn't be considered a bust or a busted pick? Oh, I'm teasing something here, B. I'm teasing something here. If you were part of the overtime show, you would know what we're talking about. Ladies and gentlemen, there's 83 people in here. Hit that like button. And if you're new, hit the subscribe button. Okay. You want to be a part of something historic here. Like Tyreek Hill's gonna do something historic this year. The lunch break hot take crew, the LBHT crew, is going to do something historic as well. All right. We have come up with a new term. Okay. Come up with a new term. You know, ESPN did it. I don't know if you guys remember when ESPN did it. Right. You have the QB rating. Everybody knows what the QB rating is, right? Basically a way to measure how well the quarterback played in the game. ESPN decided one day, we don't like that. We're going to do our own thing called the QBR. Very original, right? But it has stuck, and it's a thing, right? And people look at it and they say, they want to know what's the QB rating and the QBR. They go hand in hand, right?
Yeah.
Two ways to measure the quarterback's play. Well, for a while, let me pause for a second to thank Buck for the donation. Appreciate it. He says, please don't beat down on my Cardinals too bad on Sunday. Don't you jinx it. We didn't even give predictions on that game. I'm afraid to give a prediction, to be honest, man. Like, these are the games that we lose. Right. These are the games that we lose. I got to think about that for a minute. But anyway, if you want to be awesome like Buck, $ LBHT show is how that happens. All right. You see that animation? That's what you get for donating. Also, that pin link that you see in the chat box will take you to our Stream Elements page. All right. That's right. 420. Appreciate that. I'm not a smoker, but I can appreciate the symbolism there. So for a while, B has had a problem with how busts are defined. How do you guys define a bust? How do you guys, what is a bust to you? Right? Let's throw out a couple names, B. Let's throw out a couple names. You start. Who do you consider a bust?
Not
our new term, but before.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, we can go with the classics. A Ryan Leaf or a Jamarcus Russell, Robert Gallery. What was that Wake Forest line? Aaron Curry out of Wake. Justin Gilbert, who went top 10 to Cleveland. I mean, you could really just go to drafthistory.com and just click on Cleveland. You'll get a pretty good idea what a bust is. Okay. I want to read who people got in here. Albert Hainsworth. Oh, that's actually an interesting one. Albert Hainsworth bust. Albert Hainsworth had some. I mean, he was really good in Tennessee, and he was good in Washington when he first got there. Yeah.
Kyle Bowler. All right. Blaine Gabbert. Okay. All right.
Oh, Gabby Gabbert.
All right. Okay. Cool. What do you think of Marshawn Lynch?
You asking me first one? Oh, you asking the chat. Okay. I'll just.
Yeah. Well, do you guys think Marshawn Lynch was a bust?
I'll be not involved.
Do you think Brett Favre was a bust? Okay, I see Jimmy Clausen. That one that's a little hurtful.
You ain't gotta do
that. Courtney Brown. Killer
Why
said,
you gotta be like that, Jay?
I would say most busts were actually players who were drafted too high in the wrong scheme for them.
There you go, Killer.
Living Legend says Beast Mode is the god. Yeah, but was he a bust? Now, here's why. Now, you see, I put it down here. Bust versus busted picks, because Marshawn Lynch was a bust for the Buffalo Bills, right? And this is something me and B argued, because I would have said no, he's not a bust, right? And B was like, yeah, he is a bust. He didn't work out for the team that drafted him. Marshawn Lynch, it's a great player. I think he's going to the Hall of Fame too. Right?
Maybe.
I think he will. I think he'll make it. If the bus gets in, the bus opened up a lot of he opened up the floodgates.
The bus got in because he played for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
He opened the floodgates.
And he's from Detroit. I don't know if you know that.
I need to see Corey Dillon get in now. We better have Marshawn Lynch get in.
Ain't gonna happen.
Okay.
But I think to kind of illustrate the point that I was making when we were talking about this, I said San Francisco right now is a perfect example of this.
Yeah.
You've got Trey Lance and Brock Purdy, right?
Yeah.
Trey Lance hasn't had a chance to play. Not really. He played very, very limited snaps in San Francisco, mostly because of injury. And they traded him. Now, they traded multiple picks.
Ricky Williams. Good one.
Multiple picks to move up and get Trey Lance, right? And now he plays for the Cowboys. He's a bust. No matter what he does from this point on in his career, he's a bust because he gave nothing to the 49ers, who drafted him, I believe it was 3rd overall, and after trading up and everything. On the other end of the spectrum, they've got Brock Purdy, who they drafted with the last pick in the draft in the 7th round, who has won a whole bunch of games for them at starting quarterback. Now, I don't think he's very good.
Me neither.
But they've gotten way more out of him than you could ever expect to get out of a 7th round pick. And if no matter how it happens, if he ends up on another team and he's just trash for the rest of his career, or he ends up on another team and he's out of the league in a year, he's never going to be a bust for the 49ers.
Yeah.
Right? Because they got a ton of value out of him, regardless of what he does when he moves on to another team.
Now, all this, well said, B. Well said, right? And I feel you on what you're saying. But nobody will ever call Marshawn Lynch a bust.
No.
Right? So we're not here to change your minds on that. We're here to change the definition. Okay? Marshawn Lynch is not a bust. He's a busted pick. Busted pick. I need the LBHT crew, all 82 people in here, okay, to spread the gospel. All right. So I want to make sure you guys understand what we're talking about here. A bust is a player that was drafted high, had high expectations, and he just turned out to be bad. Your Ryan Leafs, right? Your Kijana Carters, right? Like you're like the ones that just never amounted to anything in the league.
Mm-hmm.
Busted picks are players that were drafted high but didn't work out for their original team, but went on elsewhere, had good to great careers. Okay, so now let's test the audience here, B. Let's test the audience here a little bit. Oh man, I was gonna say a name, but I was like, man, I might be too old. They might be too young. Rich Gannon. Rich Gannon, I want you to let me know, bust or busted pick. Yes, Osmond, Tony Mandarich is a bust. Hey, you tell me, Mikey. He says, hey, so by this metric, is Breeze a bust? Is he a bust or a busted pick? All right, Living Legend says Rich Gannon is a busted pick.
Yeah.
Correct. Yes, busted pick. Absolutely. Herschel Walker. I thought, wait,
don't be like that, David Owens. You ain't that young.
Herschel Walker. Did he actually play for the Cowboys? Initially, did he play for them?
He was traded to the Cowboys.
He traded to the Cowboys. I mean, well, did he?
Oh, no. Wait, was he traded?
They traded him.
Yeah, they traded
all
him
those
away.
picks.
Yeah. He played for a few years.
Okay. Herschel Walker, bust or busted pick?
See, and though there are players where it gets kind of dicey, right? Because it's the same case with Marshawn Lynch. He wasn't bad, when he was in Dallas. He wasn't bad when he was in Buffalo for Marshawn. He just wasn't there very long.
Yeah,
you just didn't get a whole lot out of it. It would be a similar case to Hollywood Brown for the Ravens, right? He wasn't a bad player, and he produced a bit while he was there, but he just wasn't there very long. And, so that's when it falls back to the expectations that you have when you make that pick. When you pick Hollywood Brown in the first round, you expected to get more than a couple years out of him.
So, yeah, okay. He was good for the team that drafted him, so he would not be a busted pick. Did he get enough for where he was picked? That would do. So he's not busted pick. Now is he a bust? Now
what is that?
What? Bust of a father,
Bust of a father,
yeah. Now, the Boulder. Oh, you're so close. You almost got it right. He says that Vince Young is a busted pick. Vince Young worked out for the team that drafted him, right? He got worse after that.
No, but Vince Young is both, because I mean, he didn't. I wouldn't say he worked out for Tennessee. Like he won Rookie of the Year. They went to the playoffs, but again, it's about the expectations, not just whether or not he was. He played well while he was there.
Yeah,
he was drafted in the top 5, and you draft a quarterback in the top 5, you're expecting them to be your franchise quarterback for a long time, and he was not that.
Yeah, but that wasn't performance related. That was my coach is trying to tank me related.
It was a bit of performance related, but regardless of what it is, look,
okay, we can go back to Chad Pennington.
John Carter's not a bust because of performance. He's a bust because of injury. It doesn't matter the reason. The end result is, hey, you're a bust or a busted pick because you just didn't work out the way the way it was expected.
Is Chad Pennington a bust or a busted pick?
He was drafted by the Jets, right?
Yeah,
I mean, he played there for a good long while, and I don't think, and he wasn't
because injuries derailed him.
First round pick. He was let me pull him up here real quick. Oh no, he was a first round pick. That's cool. Way to go, Chad. But he played in New York for 8 years.
Oh yeah, I guess that's good.
And I mean, he was never a great quarterback. He was pretty good. But yeah, then injuries derailed him later on. But no, I wouldn't call Pennington a bust.
Okay. I agree. Noodle arm Chad. Yeah, man. Look, he got his shoulders shredded up, but you know what? He still played well afterwards. He gave Miami a good year or two.
He still put Urlacher on skates.
This is correct, Bazel. Mark Sanchez is both. but for the sake of
Rex's wife,
for the sake of this discussion, he's just a bust. Okay, Kyle Bowler is a bust. Steve Young, busted pick. Who drafted him originally?
That would be Tampa Bay.
Correct, MDT Sports. Good job. Yes.
Yeah, and that's the same with Brett Favre that we were talking about. Atlanta drafted him. Now, granted, I mean, he was a 4th round pick, so it's not a huge busted pick there, but he didn't work out there, and then he went on to be, the dirtbag that he is. But he won a lot of games.
Deion Sanders worked out for every team that he played for. Yeah. No,
and he was there for a good long while too, I think. Yeah. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I mean, he's there for 5 years.
For Atlanta?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was longer than that, but he was there for 5 years.
Yes, Daniel. Leinart was a bust. Yes. Matt Elam, bust. Josh Rosen, bust. Drew Brees, busted pick. I think you guys got it. I think good job. All right.
But yeah, I think that we should do some videos or a video and talk about some of these, because some of these are good questions. Like Deion, like you said, initially I'm thinking, no, he's not a bust at all. But 5 years for a guy you drafted 5th, it's not a whole lot.
But 5 excellent years.
My man ran out on you.
5 excellent years, though.
Oh no, they were for sure.
And you know what? Sure. I would know, because you play out your contract. Right, he didn't get traded. He played out his contract, right?
Well, I don't know what his contract was, because they didn't have it wasn't a rookie scale contract then. But no, I mean he I'm sure he did and left. But you know what? Gale Sayers made the Hall of Fame off of 4 years, so we're gonna say they got their money's worth with those 5 years of Deion. No bust, and no busted pick.
Yeah. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, all right, when we're discussing this out in the Twitter streets or out in social media, all right. And we already know what a bust is. But when somebody is a busted pick, you put hashtag busted pick. Also put hashtag LBHT crew so people know. All right. Where this came from. Because people will steal our stuff. They will steal ours. Okay. Because you guys are part of it too. All right. This is an LBHT crew terminology that will be spread out to the world. All right. Reggie Bush, I do not think is a bust. This is something that me and B argue about a lot. I don't think he was a bust.
I think he's a busted pick.
Because of where he was drafted. Like, he worked out for New Orleans. He won a Super Bowl with New Orleans.
Yeah, well, the team was very good, but he was okay. He was a third down, basically a third down back for them, and you don't draft a third down back, at 2 or 3 or wherever it was that he got drafted. Later on in his career, I think he got better, and he was good for Miami. He was good for Detroit. I don't think that he returned value for New Orleans for where they took him. He was second overall.
I don't know, man. That's that one. I think we have to debate that, man. I think he was a key part of their Super Bowl run.
I mean, that's fine. You can be a key part, but that doesn't mean you lived up to your draft status.
Desmond Howard is a legend. Okay.
I mean, but that's a good one, right? Because hey, he was a key part. He won Super Bowl MVP, right?
Yes, but he's a legend.
But he was not good.
You'll never hear me say anything bad about Desmond Howard. That is the happiest man on the face of the earth. Okay. He does nothing but spread positive energy. Okay?
He's the only person on the planet who could name their kid Anakin. And I'm like, that's still cool.
My man said big Penix energy on TV
3 times,
thousands of times, and has not been suspended. Okay. They just went along with it. They're just like, all right, man, it's Desmond.
Man, I love that now, man. Like, those are the kind of people that I like watching because he's just having fun.
Yeah.
That's why I love Gus Johnson. He's just having fun. Just making it exciting.
Yes. All right. All right. Serious. So be on the lookout for that, but we're giving you a heads up. All right. Bust versus busted picks. All right. Now go, our disciples, and spread the gospel. All right.
Yeah, MDT is right. Reggie Bush was ahead of his time, and if he was playing now, I mean, I think he'd be unstoppable. Yeah. But I could say the same thing about Mike Vick. But you know what? He played before his time. And
Mike Vick will still be Mike Vick because he didn't have the work ethic. He said,
I think he would have gotten by much better just on his athleticism now than he did then.
Absolutely.
So
absolutely, because
I think he would have been able to kind of keep it going until it kind of clicked in his head that, hey, I have to try.
Because the league back then was just 100% against those type of quarterbacks. I mean, they're still against black quarterbacks in general, but ones that are very athletic like that, they wanted to take a quarterback like that and not change anything about their offense, their old antiquated offense. They just wanted to say, hey, you're just gonna have to learn to do this, and that, right? So limiting them.
That's another reason that Trey Lance is not a bust, but a busted pick, because they came out and said that, yeah, we weren't going to build anything around Trey Lance. We wanted him to fit into what we do, and that's just stupid. Why'd you give up all those picks and draft him that high if you were just going to kind of jam him into a hole he didn't fit into?
Yeah. Okay, what we got next?
Next up, I guess, talking about them trash ass Ravens. I don't know.
Wow.
Ravens coming off of a big time win over Detroit this week, where, I mean, Lamar was nearly perfect. The defense was nearly perfect. The wide receivers, for the most part, showed up and did their job. The O-line had their best day of the year. I don't even say arguably. It was their best day of the year. The running back showed up and kind of did their thing. I mean, Detroit was one of the hottest team in the league over the last year. And I mean, they brought that to a dead halt in Baltimore.
Not only did they do that, they sent a certain Lions YouTuber just off the edge. And if you want to know how the Detroit fan base reacted, go check out Hendo's video on the Rogue Pod. He did a reenactment of it, and he nailed it. Okay, he nailed it.
This was not a dramatization. This was spot on accuracy that Hendo had in this video.
Yes. These were true stories. Okay, look, Detroit fans. Okay, and it wasn't all fans, because I looked at some other Detroit YouTubers, and they weren't acting like him. A lot of them were thinking like I was thinking, hey, ran to a buzzsaw. We're still 5-2. Sky's the limit, right? That's kind of how they took it. But this one, he was really hurt. Like he knew, he just knew in his heart. Look, all we gotta do is make Lamar pass. All we gotta do is make Lamar pass. Right? He bought into that. He fed into that. That's why I was saying, man, like there are people out there that still believe that, right? Because that's the narrative that's on them. And then they did exactly what he wanted them to do. Make Lamar pass. And Lamar gave him, yes, Marcus, gave him that work.
I had never seen somebody sing that song in tears.
I thought he was playing at first, and then he freaked out. He did not. He was shocked that Lamar could play like that. Real Rosters 212. Thanks for subscribing. I appreciate that. Thank you. Salute to you. He believed, man. We've got to get Lamar to pass the ball, and that's ours all day. And Lamar carved them up. Yeah. Okay, and the O-line held up. Like I agree with B, that's their best game of the season. The wide receivers held onto the ball, right? Gus Edwards, Justice Hill ran the ball well. Keaton Mitchell with the one play, ran the ball well. Everybody did their jobs. The only thing that didn't change was Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson has been playing this way for a few weeks now. Okay, he's been locked in. Anybody that breaks down film, Coach Evans, what's his name, the QB school guy, like all these, like anybody that breaks down film will tell you, Matt Waldman, all of them. Lamar has been playing great football. Everybody else has been letting him down. We all know what happened in the Steelers game: 9 drops, or however, 7 to 9 drops. Atrocious. Coach showed you what his stats could have been off of just a handful of those catches, right? It'll look very similar to Sunday's game. So he's been locked in, and he's kept his confidence up. He hasn't changed anything. Everybody else was just locked in that game. So what we need to see is consistency from the wide receivers and the O-line moving forward, and these running backs, right? And they can make a lot of teams look like that.
Yeah, because I would, I talked about this on Monday on the Ravens Roundup. I don't think it's even just a couple of weeks. I think Lamar's been playing like this his whole career. And I mean, not that he's never played poorly. I mean, obviously he's had his ups and downs, but he's been a very efficient quarterback. He's been accurate. He's been a good decision maker for the most part. I mean, there's times when he got frustrated and made some terrible decisions. But the Ravens have not put him in a position to be able to capitalize on his passing ability, because the Ravens did not believe in his passing ability. They never really put the playmakers around him that other quarterbacks have had. And if they had, there wouldn't be any question about who the top quarterback, or maybe it would just be Mahomes and Lamar. But as it stands right now, despite how well he plays, I mean, I see people out there making top 10 lists that don't include Lamar Jackson, because you go and you look at his numbers, the numbers aren't good. I saw somebody on Twitter talking about him. He's very close to Desmond Ridder. They're not too far apart. And I'm like, okay, cool. You don't watch any football really, if you think that, but you definitely don't watch the Ravens play. But just, don't talk about him if that's the case.
There isn't a single Falcons fan that would agree with that.
Just that guy.
Just that
one. But no, I think if the Ravens had believed in Lamar and recognized his ability earlier on, there'd be a lot less frustration about the Ravens organization. There would have been a lot less frustration over the last few years. And, I think they would have won a Super Bowl by now if they had just said, you know what, we're going to go all in on supporting our quarterback. And they just, for whatever reason, have not done it. I think the reason is they didn't believe in him. They will probably tell you, I'm sure they'll tell you that's not the case. And the reason is, we just have this philosophy, we built through the defense, blah, blah, whatever. But had you gone out and got A.J. Brown, you wouldn't be having questions about the edge rushers, or, we wouldn't be debating the talent at corner. Like, you would just be out there dominating teams offensively. And unfortunately, that's just not the way that John Harbaugh wants to do things.
The difference between good and great organizations is their ability to process information, how fast, right? And how to respond accordingly, right? Make adjustments accordingly. I can give them a pass for. Give them a pass. The 2019 season, right? You had G-Ro on the team. Look, I can vouch for B. B never liked G-Ro from day one. Never liked him. Even in that 2019 season, he's just like, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, you need to get rid of him after the year, right? Win or lose. That was B's thing. Because he knew, and I knew too, that G-Ro's always been limited. But 2019, great magical regular season, and then in the playoffs, we saw what happened. Now, going into that season, they didn't believe Lamar Jackson was going to be that good. I didn't think he was going to be MVP. Nobody thought that in the second year. Nobody, right? But once you saw what he can do, once you saw the level he can play, he led the league in touchdown passes, man. We led the league. We broke the record for rushing, most rushing yards ever in a season, and we led the league in touchdown passes. What's going on, Chris?
What's up, Chris?
Salute. Hey, you guys, do us a favor. That's our friend Chris right there. I need you to go over there to Deep Cover Podcast and hit the subscribe button. Also, they are also big on the audio side. Okay, so wherever you listen to podcasts, go over there, follow them, and give them a 5-star review. All right. Thanks for coming through, man. But once you saw what Lamar could do after that MVP season, you should have been 1,000% in. You were 14-2. You should have been 1,000% in on winning right now, because it was the Chiefs that won it that year, right?
I believe so.
Yeah. So the Chiefs won it that year. Who did they play? Yeah, because they played San Francisco. That was supposed to be our game. We should have beaten San Francisco again because we beat them earlier that year, right? After that, they should have been all right. We got to stack everything, here now. We got to make sure the O-line's legit. We got to make sure we get him all the wide receiver help. Everything. He can do it for us, and he decided not to do it. Chris says, "Now send me your NBA questions so I can educate you guys." We're not at the NBA segment yet. We're almost there. But they did the opposite. They let Orlando Brown walk. Right? They brought in what's that loser's name from Villanueva, Alejandro Villanueva. All right. They went and signed Des Bryant. They just did everything opposite, right? Whereas you look at somebody like the Eagles and somebody like Jalen Hurts, who, he didn't show what Lamar showed. No. That's for sure. He didn't show that, but he showed enough to where they were like, we are going all in. And by all in, we're going to draft Devontae Smith. We're going to trade for A.J. Brown. We're going to get every good lineman that we can get on this team, and we're going to go for it. Okay, they fell a little bit short last year, and they said, all right, cool. Let's get some more. Let's get some more players. Let's get DeAndre Swift now. Let's trade for Kevin Byard. Like they keep stacking up because they're trying to win it now. While they had that window, and they pay. The window for paying them, they already paid them, but they're like, yeah, we're still trying to win. We got all this talent here now. We got a quarterback that we can win with. Let's do it. The Ravens didn't do that. The Ravens wanted to get conservative, and they said, hey, well, he's good enough to keep us winning, so we don't really need to spend money, right? That's why the Ravens aren't a good. They are a good organization. They're not a great organization, right? A great organization, knows when it's their window to win, and they go all in.
Yeah, and that was kind of when we first even started thinking about doing a podcast. I remember telling you, it was they were going down the same road with Lamar that Carolina went with Cam. Cam tore up the league in 2015. He was unstoppable. Nobody could do anything with him. They went 15-1, blew out the Cardinals in that conference championship game. They lost in the Super Bowl because they got injured and didn't have any backups at running back and wide receiver. But they got there and you saw what Cam could be, right? You saw the height of Cam Newton. And they went into the draft and they drafted literally a backup defensive tackle in the first round instead of another weapon for that, or not another, instead of a weapon for the offense. They drafted Vernon Butler, who they were planning on sitting behind Starr and Kawan Short. They said, Cam, he threw the ball, he ran the ball so well. We don't need to get him anybody other than Ted Ginn and Jericho Cotchery and a Kelvin Benjamin with zero work ethic coming back off a torn ACL. We'll just rely on Cam, and we will literally draft a backup in the first round instead of trying to help our quarterback. And, that's the same kind of thing that I looked at Baltimore and I'm like, you can't get the quarterback and then say business as usual. When you get your quarterback, everything changes. Yeah. It has to be about your quarterback at that point. Yeah. Now, look, if that quarterback is Kirk Cousins, then business as usual, man. Whatever. If that quarterback is Ryan Tannehill, man, go about your business. Get Derrick Henry, build that 1984 championship team. But if you get a Pat Mahomes, if you get a Lamar Jackson, if you get a player like that, if you get a Josh Allen, if you get a Joe Burrow, you have to go all in on surrounding them with talent and making sure that they are successful.
Yeah, and like Chris says, you're absolutely right, Chris. People should be in jail for what happened to Cam and Andrew Luck. Yeah, absolutely.
TJ Watt hiding in plain sight every week.
No, two organizations that failed their quarterbacks, they both should be Super Bowl champions.
The Colts was, it was, I won't say it was worse because they eventually did build an O-line around Luck and they did have receivers there.
It's too late.
But their coach literally came out and said, yeah, we can't protect him. He needs to deal with it.
Yeah, that was Pagano. That was Chuck Pagano.
And nobody said anything because Chuck's strong.
Right. So we know he can't. We know we can't block. We know that
he needs to deal with it. What do you mean?
That was the wrong answer. At least they fired him.
He needs to deal with getting hit every time he drops back. Why? and it was at that moment that Andrew Luck said, "I will not be playing into my late 30s."
Look, all this to say, the Ravens should crush the Cardinals on Sunday.
The Cardinals aren't good. God forbid they throw Kyler Murray out there for his first game against that Ravens defense. That would be
please don't do that.
That would be terrible.
Well, Kyler should let them know up front. Like, I'm not playing this game. I'm
not a big Kyler fan or anything, but I don't want that for him.
No, look, I there's talk that they could be moving on from him, right?
Mm-hmm.
If I'm Kyler, I'm saving myself for whatever, whether I'm coming back next year or if you're trying to trade me to another team, I want to make sure I'm ready for the next team. I'm not going out there to help you in your agenda, right? Yeah. I'm not ready to play yet because it's child abuse. He can't come in right off an injury and play this defense. The Ravens defense this year is locked in. I'm
going to that coach and that GM and that owner, and I'm saying, look, am I going to be here next year or not? Like, are you looking to move me? Because if you're looking to move me, I'm not playing a single snap this year.
Yeah.
For what?
Right. I just want to heal. But this defense, I don't think we're gonna have a letdown from this defense this year. I'm gonna be honest. Where you can roll out there with Geno Stone can lead the league or lead the team in interceptions. Everybody's locked in. Mike McDonald's doing a damn good job. I gotta give him his props.
He is. But let's go ahead and take it to submitted questions because
we haven't done that yet.
We had a question about that, and I was like, "Don't talk about it." But whatever. I don't know why we have production meetings.
I told you that's their fault for asking a question that's going and answers in our segment. That's their bad.
Okay. I want you to look Jay right in his face and tell him he was wrong for submitting his question.
Okay, first of all, Jay, you submitted like 3 questions. So
no, he didn't. He submitted 1 question.
I saw 3. I saw like 2.
I think he deleted the others.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Cause
That's
Jay,
the one you chose to keep.
Jay, if nothing else, respects the rules.
He had a question about the Lakers. I saw that.
That's the one that's up here.
Okay, all right.
The question about this isn't actually from Jay. I was just saying. So first up, this one is from our guy Davon. Which will come first, a compliment to Gus Edwards by B or a Panthers win? Screw you, Davon. I give Gus plenty of compliments. I have multiple times called him an NFL running back. Now, if that's not a compliment, I don't know what you're looking for here. Honestly.
He said, well, he said Gus played well last week. He didn't say anything bad about the Ravens. Like we didn't have anything bad to say about the Ravens.
I didn't say anything bad about Gus Edwards, nor would I ever. All I've ever done is speak the truth about Gus. You are banned from asking questions, Davon. Next up, from Jeremy, after last night's performance, what are the chances LeBron wants to trade Anthony Davis to another team? And what Jeremy is referring to is Anthony Davis had 17 points in the first half. And then at the end of the game, Anthony Davis had 17 points. Now, the chances are 0. Anthony Davis is a great player. He's one of the best players in the league. He had a bad second half. But he seems to have moved on from the I don't even want to call it immaturity, but the just like all the nagging injuries and kind of the perception that he didn't give his all every night.
Yeah.
That seems to be behind him now. And look, he didn't play his best series against Denver in the playoffs last year, but he was playing hard every night. And he came with the defense every night. His shots weren't falling, but that's going to happen to everybody. And this is the first game of the season. Don't care. LeBron he definitely doesn't want him traded because the news just came out today that they're looking at limiting his minutes to 28 to 30 minutes a night for LeBron.
Yeah.
And it's going to be Anthony Davis carrying the load for the Lakers.
The Lakers are going to be in the playoffs. These type of teams that are trying to win championships, the early part of the season isn't a big deal, right? This is kind of like their preseason. They'll ramp up as the season goes on. They don't want to start out, in like a 10-game losing streak or anything like that. But they're going to get their wins. They're not tripping off the first game, right? So no big deal.
Next up, this one is from Clinton Jones. If a tree falls in the forest and no one's around to hear it, does it make a sound? Well, Clinton, yes, it does. Because everything's not about you. All right. Humans are not the center of the universe like we always like to think. Everything's not about us. This whole existence story is not about humans. All right. The tree makes a sound because it breaks, it falls over, it hits the ground, it makes a sound. Doesn't matter if there's a person there to hear it or not. There's plenty of animals there to hear it. Other trees are alive. They can hear it. It's not about you.
Plants can feel the sonic waves.
Yes.
Okay.
But the mother plants feel it when it lands on them.
Yeah.
Okay.
When a tree lands on a blade of grass, does it cry for help?
I bet it does.
It does.
And then it smells amazing. Next, our last submitted question for the week. We've got from Jay. Do you think the Ravens versus Cardinals is a trap? It was Jay. I forgot. Is a trap game, considering the near perfect game the Ravens had last week. Yes, he did have another one about the Lakers, but I think he deleted that.
Okay.
I don't think this is a trap game. I know that that's typically what happens with Baltimore when you're playing teams that aren't, highly thought of. They're maybe not ready to go. But I think having lost 2 games already that they should not have lost, they're not going to take their eye off the ball that quickly, especially after playing their best game of the season and just getting everything to come together. I don't think they're just going to flush that down the toilet a week later. I think they're still going to be locked in, and I think it's going to be a pretty. I thought it would be a fairly close game, but it's not going to be like oh man, the Ravens, they John Harbaugh again and they didn't show up. They're going to show up. They're going to win. But the Cardinals are a tough team. They play everybody hard, so it'll be a somewhat close game, but not a trap for the Ravens.
Yeah, it's not going to be a trap game because you're all trapped out, right? John Harbaugh has reached his credit limit. Okay. He's had 2 trap games and they were bad ones. Okay. You lost to Gardner Minshew. That was bad at home. That was awful. You lose to Kenny Pickett. You lost to like 2 of the worst quarterbacks out there. Cannot have another trap game. Okay. Another trap game this early. Another bad loss this early. That won't go well towards the end of the season, especially if you lose to another team that you're supposed to be in the playoffs.
Another loss like the Colts game this early, and you'll be shopping for Lunch Break Hot Take merch at firejohnharbaugh.com.
Yes, we will. We will lock that down. Okay, and if that's taken, it'll be please firejohnharbaugh.com or firejohnharbaugh right now.com. Okay, one of those will be available. Okay, and we're gonna get it. No. I expect them to win big. Like I said, Lamar is locked in. Everybody else just needs to be locked in. Coach Harbaugh needs to do his job. Okay. Todd Monken is going to be giving some more high fives. You guys see him after Lamar scored 1 of the touchdowns. He was pumped, right? We're going to get some more of that. All right. So no trap game. Is that the last one?
Yeah, that's it for submitted questions. Thank you to everybody who submitted questions. You've already received your points. The community post for questions for next week will be up tomorrow morning. So if you have any questions or any topics you want us to discuss, head over to YouTube and hit the community tab and go ahead and post them in that thread.
All right. And look, 80 people in here, hit that like button. If you are new, hit the subscribe button. If you don't know, if you're watching this show live, we have a loyalty point program, just like what Coach Evan has over on Sip to Tally Films. All right. So if you're in here chatting it up, just watching, participating, you get points. Okay. Donating to the show, okay, gets you a lot of points. All right. $LBHTShow. That's the Cash App, the pin link that you see in the chat box. Both ways that you can use our version of super chat. Sign up to patreon.com/LBHTShow. Another way to get points. All right. Sign up to our newsletter. Hasn't come out yet, but we're working on that. At LBHTShow.com. That's another way to get 1,000 points easily. All right. So all those ways you can get points. What's next, B? We got basketball.
Up next, we have NBA basketball because the NBA is back.
It is back.
They're in full swing tonight. But they tipped off the season yesterday with the Lakers versus the Nuggets, and then the Suns versus the Warriors. I can't tell you anything about the Suns and Warriors game because I was done with NBA basketball after what I saw from the Lakers.
I was sound asleep, but I saw like the first quarter of it. They went back and forth a little bit. The Suns ended up winning the game, I think by like 4 or 5 points. It was fairly competitive. Listen, well, I want to ask. Yes, it's your time to shine, Chris. All right, for my NBA fans, right? And I know some of you aren't NBA fans. That's fine. You want to hang out for the show, okay? You still want to hang out, okay? Because we got some more points to give away later. But is this too early for you, right? Because me and B are big NBA fans. We love basketball. But I know for me personally, it doesn't really hit me until after the football season, right? Really after the All-Star break. Going right into the All-Star break and after the All-Star break is when I'm just like, yeah, I need some basketball. Then I want to watch all the games. Right now, I was excited to watch it last night, and then by halftime, I'm like, oh, okay, it's game 1 of 82 games, right? If I will tell you something. For me, if you're a fan of the Lakers, if you're a fan of the Warriors, if you're a fan of the Suns, if you're a fan of the Nuggets, if you're a fan of Boston, right, Milwaukee, those teams, I wouldn't be excited for right now because they're in the playoffs. You know what they're playing for. This part of the season doesn't mean a whole lot, right? Like they're going to win some, they're going to lose some, but they're not going to ramp it up until after the All-Star break. That's when they're really going to, play for position and, get ready for the playoffs. Not a whole lot to see right now. Me, as a Brooklyn fan, these games matter. When you're not as good of a team, right? And I don't think the Nets are going to be a bad team, but we don't have a superstar, right? We have to, these early games mean a lot. So I'll be watching from game 1 for Brooklyn, right? Steal some of these wins when the more serious teams aren't really taking the game serious. So yes, I'm a little bit more excited this year to watch it earlier than previous years.
I like that. I'm going to go ahead and say the Lakers didn't take it seriously yesterday.
I don't think they took it that seriously. I mean, yeah, sure they want to win, but it's not.
They've been talking a lot of trash about Denver all offseason. They needed to show up yesterday, but no, but yeah, it doesn't really mean a whole lot. The problem, the only real concerning thing, and I wouldn't even say concerning, like what happened is, you're very excited, you love it. They installed D'Angelo Russell and Austin Reeves as their starting backcourt. And the idea is those guys can take some of the scoring load off of Anthony Davis and LeBron. We know that D'Angelo Russell can do that. He's been a 20-point-a-game scorer in the league before. He's been an all-star. Austin Reeves played very well, down the stretch last year and in the playoffs. And they went a combined 8 for 23 yesterday. So it wasn't great. I was happy with what I saw from some of the bench players. Gabe Vincent, who is a 3-point shooter, who I said maybe don't sign that guy. He went 0 for 4 from 3. But even him, he contributed 6 points in his minutes. They got a little bit from Cam Reddish. They got I believe 6 or 7 points from Christian Wood. Same with Hachimura. So they're getting some contributions off that bench, and I think that those guys will. As soon as what's happening in LA, I think they need to kind of figure out their roles, figure out their place on the team, all the new guys who have come in this year. And I think they will. And I think that bench is going to be very effective. I think they've got a lot of good role players there. I don't have any doubts about the starting lineup getting into gear and playing well. So, it's just it's an early season thing. They kind of just they weren't really clicking yesterday. Or their shot wasn't. And that'll come and go during the season. It's a long season. It happens to every team in the league. But I think the Lakers will once they get their rotation down and everybody gets comfortable, I think they're going to be very, very tough to beat.
Okay. All right. Now, the Nets are playing right now. Right. Obviously, we're doing a live show, but I'm looking at the score 63-63 at halftime. I like to see a little defense being played. Okay.
Chris fakes this NBA fan thing very well because Cam Reddish, get serious, B, like that's the perfect person to pick out of that lineup. and listen, Cam Reddish gave him 7 points, Chris, so you get serious. Okay, how about that?
Look, what I want to see from the Nets, Ben Simmons, only 2 points, but 8 rebounds, 6 assists. So okay. What you laughing at?
Chris, I know ball.
He knows ball. Chris knows ball. Look, Ben Simmons is somebody I want to see ramp it up. I really want to see, I want to see either that they get his trade value up, right? Because he's been basically untradeable up to this point, or he just turns it around and he gets back to form and we got a young star there, right? So I want to see that. Mikal Bridges has 5 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. All right, I need to see a lot from him. Not surprising, but not surprising. Guess who our leading scorer is, B?
Is it Nick Claxton?
You're so close. It was Cam Thomas.
Thomas, wow.
Cam Thomas, 24 points. 24 points. 24 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists.
Wait. Like right now he has 20. Oh my God, he has 24. They're 65. Yikes.
Yeah. Yeah, he's going off. So I'll have to break that down a little bit later. But like I said, the Nets always find
on 11 shots too. Well done.
Yeah, but the Nets always find these guys, right?
Ooh, not well done. He's the only guy in double digits.
Well done for him.
Yeah. Maybe get them assist numbers up, Cam.
Yeah.
How about that?
But yes, I want to see how somebody like Cam Thomas develops. Can he do this on a more consistent basis? Can Ben Simmons come back to form? And it looks like he's. I mean, look, he might get a triple double tonight. It might be a low triple double, but he might get a triple double.
I didn't know you guys signed playoff hero and Miami legend Lonnie Walker IV.
Yeah, I did. I told you that.
I forgot.
I told you that's why we're gonna win it.
He has not entered the game.
We gotta save him. He's a secret weapon.
He's no, it's not.
But like I said, the Nets. I trust that organization. I'm just excited to see who develops, who they end up packaging, along with like the 20 Brazilian picks that they have, and who they bring on. I know they're gonna make a move, but that's why I'm excited to see. I want them to win this game against Cleveland tonight. This is a little too high scoring for my liking. Lonnie Walker out of Reading, PA. There you go.
Fact check you right now.
Yeah, Draymond didn't play last night.
The real story with NBA basketball being back is 9:30 tonight, the debut of Victor Wembanyama against the Dallas Mavericks.
Yeah.
That is must see TV.
All right. We're gonna keep it moving because we're kind of clumping up on time. But we're gonna talk a little bit more NBA-ish type of talk in the overtime show. If you want to be a part of it, patreon.com/LBHTShow. Be shaking his head.
Chris is already on basketballreference.com. He is from Reading, PA.
He looked it up. What are we talking about on the overtime show? Ice Cube versus the NBA. The Big Three versus the NBA. Okay.
I actually like Adam Silver. He just always looks like a villain.
He looks like he looks like the villain, like the next MCU villain. All right. But he's a really nice guy, it seems like.
Yeah.
But Ice Cube has some beef with the NBA, and he's talked about this for a while, right? I've heard him in interviews, kind of mention some issues that he has with the NBA, and we're going to discuss it. I guess there's an investigation going on with the NBA and how they're trying to block players and refs and stuff like that from participating in the Big Three. Is that
okay?
Is that what's that?
He said he didn't look it up. His cousin played ball with him. Reading Knights.
Okay. But yes, overtime show, Big Three versus NBA. Is what the NBA is doing? Is it ethical? Is it ethical or unethical? We're going to discuss. Also, we're going to be discussing some Marvel Cinematic Universe. Okay, mutants versus magic. Right. Yes, V is very excited about that. Suge is very excited about that. All right. And we're going to be discussing some other things as well. So go over to patreon.com/LBHTShow. That's where you can find more of this discussion. All right. For as little as $5 a month, you can be a part of this and a lot more. We have a Discord that's always going on. People are probably in there right now posting things. Okay. That's a lot of fun. Our fantasy football leagues are filled, but you can get in on it next year. Okay. Look, it's a lot there. Okay. So go in there, check it out. If you guys little as $5, $10, even $20.
We are I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there. I was saying we gotta cut Combat Corner. We gotta get up out of here. It is
okay. Let me
getting late.
Plug. Let me finish the plug.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean I looked at it and I was like, oh my God. And then I'm sorry.
All right. Okay. All right. Patreon.com/LBHTShow. We have a goal. We're trying to get to 100 members. I think we're over 50 right now. We're trying to get to 100 members by the end of the year. 2,000 subscribers, 100 Patreon members. If you can help us out, that'd be greatly appreciated. All right, look. Combat corner. You see the corner there. Okay, that's for combat. We are going to save this for the overtime show. UFC, is it dying?
Their next pay-per-view event certainly did.
Yes. Poof, gone. All right. We're going to be discussing that. I'm very disappointed John Jones isn't fighting. None of the rest of that card is not worth the money.
Yeah.
All right.
But next up, we've got our Week 8 predictions.
Let's go. All right. You guys know how this works. All right. You want to follow along, type fast. Here we go. Hashtag rapid fire.
Thursday, we got Tampa Bay at Buffalo. Buffalo is not good, but they're not that not good. Buffalo wins at home.
Correct. And it's at home. Buffalo.
Rams at Dallas. The Rams not great. Taking the Cowboys.
I'm going to pull Mikey here. Not so fast, my friends. I'm going Rams.
Minnesota at Green Bay. Kirk Cousins without Justin Jefferson versus Jordan Love. Doesn't really matter who's playing receiver because he just loves throwing to the other team. But I am going to take Green Bay as Minnesota is hungover from that big-time San Francisco win.
Wow, Jordan Addison is a beast, though, man. I'm going to go Minnesota.
Atlanta at Tennessee. They're starting Will Levis. Need I say more? Atlanta wins.
Oh, I'm going Tennessee.
New Orleans at Indianapolis. It's Gardner Minshew, but it's also Dennis Allen. Gonna take the Colts at home in this one.
Jeez, you might be right. I'm going Colts.
New England got a miracle win last week at Buffalo. They're going to Miami this week. Not going to happen again. Miami wins big.
Yeah, Miami.
Battle for Jersey. We got the Jets and the Giants. I think Tyrod is still playing, but I am taking the New York Jets and that defense.
I'm going Giants.
Jacksonville at Pittsburgh. Sorry, Suge. I know it's the next day, but it's still the Jaguars.
Yep, I got Jaguars.
Philly at Washington. Washington upset last week by the Giants 14-7. Jalen Hurts has not been playing well, and here is my not so fast moment. I am taking Washington in the upset.
Wow, I got Philly.
Houston at Carolina. Carolina wins, and I'm going to say that they win this one 27-20.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I like the Panthers as well. I think it'll be a little bit higher scoring. I'm going to go 31-24.
Cleveland at Seattle. Geno Smith has kept his renaissance going from last year, proven to not be just a Cinderella story. And Deshaun Watson is out again. They're going to be starting PJ Walker, but I am going to take Cleveland and their number one defense over the Seahawks.
I got the Seahawks.
I don't know who Kansas City is, but I think that they're probably going to beat Denver just as bad as the Kansas City Chiefs will.
I didn't make this list, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Yes, I got Kansas City as well.
Baltimore at Arizona. Like I said, I think Baltimore keeps it going. I think they play well. They get the win. I think that they win this one. I'm going to say 31-20.
35-7 Baltimore. Another beatdown. Let's go.
Jeez. Cincinnati at San Francisco. We got the Bengals. I think they've kind of righted the ship over there. San Francisco has looked obviously shaky the last couple of weeks. Deebo Samuel, I believe, is still out. Not sure on Trent Williams, but Brock Purdy unlikely to play as he is in the concussion protocol. I'm taking Cincinnati on the road.
Yeah, I got Cincinnati. Even if Brock Purdy was playing, I probably pick him.
I picked him yesterday when I thought Brock Purdy was playing too.
Yeah.
Chicago at the Chargers. Big time win. We haven't said it here, but shout out to Shepherd legend Tyson Bagent, who got his first win as an NFL quarterback last week, filling in for Justin Fields. But he wasn't really playing an NFL team, so I'm not sure if that counts. Not going to get the win number 2 though. The Chargers take down the Bears.
Yeah, got the Chargers.
Las Vegas at Detroit. Detroit coming off a pretty embarrassing defeat, bounces back and wins big Monday night.
Yeah, Detroit.
And that is it
All right. Good job.
The week 8 picks.
Okay.
Actually rapid fire for once.
Yeah. We did a good job there.
Yeah. Yes, I'm proud of us.
All right. Danny says Lions. And those Lions, Big Reg Lions. Everybody's got Lions. All right. Mr. Work got Lions as well.
I want to change my pick at this point if everybody's taking Lions. That's okay, though.
Okay. All right. Trivia time, and let's get going.
So, trivia time. This was inspired by something. I can't remember what, but whatever. Doesn't matter. Who holds the record for the most interceptions thrown as a rookie? And for fun, how many did they throw?
I think I know who it is. I'll give you guys a second. Listen, this is for points. So there's still 66 people in here. Hit that like button, subscribe, answer the question. The first people to get it right get points. These points go towards prizes at the end of the month. Okay. So you need to get at least 1,000 points to qualify. All right. The person with the most points at the end of the month gets a prize. And then we do a second drawing for anybody that has 1,000 points or more. All right. I see some answers in there. Are they the right answers? That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, we have a couple right answers.
Okay.
Let me see here.
You can't just say the name. How many interceptions?
Well, we're taking just the name for today. I said for fun.
Okay.
For fun points. So we have 3 answers. We have 3.
Was it Tuffy Lehman's?
Yeah. This one was apparently not difficult enough, which I kind of anticipated. It was, in fact. Let me scroll down. Probably should have scrolled down before I started saying this, but I'm filibustering very nicely. Peyton, it didn't come up. Peyton Manning, who threw 28 interceptions as a rookie in 1998.
SB Cam got it.
Yeah. So he's going to get some bonus points. Congrats, SB Cam.
Good job.
So we'll just give the bonus.
Oh, you got the year wrong. It was in 98. You were close. Good job, though, SB Cam. Good job.
Yeah. So I kind of anticipated that one would be easy. Yeah, because it's, people like to bring up Peyton Manning's struggles a lot as a rookie when they talk about their own rookie quarterbacks who are struggling while they're clinging desperately to hope. So I had a secondary question. Who leads or who holds the record, or I guess not record, but who has the most interceptions in the rookie season post 2000?
That's a harder one.
I was a little surprised by this one because I did not remember this guy playing enough to even throw this many interceptions.
Wow. Well, I have an idea now. Well, B gave you a hint. It can't be Baker.
Baker famously had a fantastic rookie year.
He did. He fooled us all. All right. All right. See, you guys are a little bit slower now. Okay. Hit the Google. What's going on, Brent? It says at work, but I gotta put y'all in my ear. Much love. Lunch break. Salute to you, Brent. I appreciate you. Appreciate you. Baseball says Kyle Bowler.
I don't think Fitzpatrick's ever even been a starting quarterback. Or at least not until much later. I mean, obviously he was much later, but
Jameis,
no.
Deshaun Kaiser. Oh, okay. Keep it up. Put the answers in there. You got. I'll give you another 30 seconds. Okay, because we're getting very close here. Got another Deshaun Kaiser answer. Tuffy Lemons Jr. Junior. All right. Got 10 more seconds. Brett Favre. That's not post 2000 now.
No.
And get Jamarcus Russell. All right. Do we have an answer, B?
Yeah, there's a couple correct answers in there.
Okay. All right. What is it?
It is. Hold on. Give me 1 second.
Oh, boy.
It's a long name, but, it is Deshaun Kaiser, 22 interceptions in 2017.
Wow, I don't remember him playing that many games.
Geno was off by 1. Somebody said Geno in there. He threw 21. Then down here you have Mark Sanchez with 20 and Matt Stafford in 2009 with 20 as well. And that was only in 10 games. Matt was putting in work.
See, Matt Stafford did everything wrong until he got to the Rams. You know, like we put out the video earlier. We talked about double standards with black quarterbacks and white quarterbacks. Matt Stafford, number 1 overall pick, in 10 games threw 20 interceptions, played for under 500 for 99% of his career, never won a playoff game. I think went to 1 playoff game, and he got no smoke for it. He got nothing but excuses. All right. Lamar Jackson, the number 32 pick, has all the expectations put on him from day one, even though people are like, he can't throw. He wins unanimous MVP. He can't win a playoff game. He wins a playoff game. He can't win multiple playoff games. He can't win a Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. He's not worth the money. It's just constant with him. And it ain't just him. Okay.
Yeah.
Every black quarterback has put. Geno had higher expectations. He had more criticism put on him as a 2nd round pick than Matt Stafford ever did.
Yeah.
So, all right.
And congrats to Just Allo, who got both questions right. Incredible.
Just Allo. Nice.
And Jay says he just guessed and got it right. I mean, that's not really worth celebrating, but congratulations to you as well, Jay.
I said, if Lamar ever threw 20 interceptions, there would be a race riot. Bring back Flacco. All right, we're getting out of here. If you want to hang out with us some more, go over to patreon.com/LBHTShow. All you need is $5. Okay, we got some goals. Help us reach our goals. Okay, if you're already signed up, sign a friend or family member up. All right, but we're getting ready to start the overtime show. B, are you ready?
I am ready.
He is ready. Thank you so much, everybody, for hanging out with us. Still almost 60 people in here. Hit that like button on your way out. If you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button. But if you're not hanging out with us, thank you very much for being here. Have a great night. Enjoy the rest of your week, and we will see you next time. Peace.